bring Danielle DeMarco in. She liked our intro last seminar, so we'll do it again. Danielle DeMarco is the #1 real estate investment mortgage broker in the city right now.
Yeah.
We use her for all of our own mortgage needs, plus our clients use her all the time as well. She not only writes a mortgage for you, but she develops a real estate mortgage investment plan.
Yeah.
So you get into the right mortgage products that can move forward and continue on to your next property after that first one. So Danielle, if you want to go ahead.
Yeah, thanks, guys. You crack me up. Yes, we do definitely work on investment plans, though, rather than focusing on just one property and getting you through one property. We want to look and see how is that financing going to affect additional purchases and, accumulating real estate, depending on what your goals are. Tonight is just a quick recap. I want to chat about 3 different programs for homeowners. We're talking about Airbnbs, but also just, getting out there, building rental properties. We're talking about availability, what is, supply like, demand like. So there's a few programs out there that are kind of neat. So one of the ones, it already is in existence. For those of you that don't know about it, feel free to reach out, and Tim and Azad also will have information on this, but the secondary suite incentive program. So that's the $10,000 for qualified homeowners, up to $10,000 to build and register secondary suites. So where the building, our main dwelling, I guess I should say, has the secondary suite. So it's not being used for backyard suites, laneway homes, things like that. You can have one application in, and you must own the property throughout the entire process. You have to apply before you can start doing the renovations and things like that. And you need to get your building permit through the city of Calgary. But it does provide up to $10,000 to rebate back for the cost of installing required safety elements that aren't in space when you're applying. So for those of you that are legalizing suites and you need to put in furnaces and smoke detectors and all the safety elements, this program is kind of neat. So make sure you're applying for these grants and things like that. The second program is new. It's the secondary suite loan program. So this is new. Not all the details have been released yet, but the budget for 2024 has proposed about $410 million roughly over 4 years to CMHC. For those of you who don't know, that's the Canada Mortgage and Housing Corporation. And basically, this $410 million is there to launch a new Canada Secondary Suite Loan Program. So that's where homeowners can access up to $40,000 in low interest loans to add secondary suites. So the nice thing about this program is that it doesn't have to be a suite that's attached to your main building. So this could be for things like laneway homes or carriage houses, or it could be for the main dwelling as well, but doesn't have to be. So you could look at borrowing $40,000, do the renovations and build the suites. Once we are finished and the properties are worth more and it's 100% complete, we could always look at refinancing to pay off those loans. But a neat thing about this program is it is supposed to be low interest loans. So depending on where interest rates go over the next couple of years, depending on where property values go, it might actually be better to finance some of these secondary suites through these other loan programs instead of just necessarily doing it as a refinance. That will come down and will be case by case basis. And also, once we have more information and details on the program, we'll know which is the better way to proceed. So the third program I wanted to chat about is also new, and it's the secondary suite refinance program. So this one's kind of neat. In October of this year, it was just announced that we'll be able to access up to 90% of our home value through insured mortgage refinancing instead of 80%. Now, the catch is, or the key is, I should say, is you need to use this funds to build secondary units. And it can actually be for up to 4 units. So the idea behind this program is to make it easier for people to build these secondary suites. To add a basement suite, it can also be for a carriage suite. It can be for laneway housing. So it's not limited, again, to the main dwelling. They're calling it gentle density. So what they want to do is increase availability for renters, long-term rentals. This doesn't apply to Airbnbs, but it does apply to long-term rentals. So some of the key details of this program, the units must be fully self-contained. So if you are going to do the refinance program, the units that you have to put in must be self-contained. So like a basement suite with a separate entrance or a laneway home. It has to meet municipal zoning requirements. It can have a maximum of 4 dwelling units. So I'm sure all of us already are aware of the new zoning in the city, and a lot of that is up to 8 units. This program would specifically cover up to 4 units. So you couldn't do an eightplex on this, you could do up to 4 units. The maximum property value limit is up to 2 million. So that's your as improved value. So that's a really nice high value. Most people probably won't hit that with 4 units, average people. You can access up to 90% of your property value, including the value added by the secondary units. So if we send in the quotes and everything like that, and we get the appraisal done and your property is worth more, which it should be, post adding in the secondary suite, then we can refinance up to 90% of that post reno value, which is also something that you can't really do right now. Maximum amortization 30 years, which is great. As we know, I preach about 30-year amortizations. I do love them for investment properties. They keep your cash flow at a positive, but they also help us qualify for multiple properties because our payments are lower. Additional financing can't exceed project costs. Now, these are effective January 15th. So just to kind of clarify, we don't have all of the information on this program. It is not applicable until next year, so there should be some more information being released. Now, it is a game changer, though, in my mind, because right now you can only refinance up to 80% of your property value. So to give you an example, if you have a $600,000 house, right now you could borrow up to $480,000. That's 80% of the value. If you have a standard mortgage of, let's say, $450,000, you have a penalty to break the mortgage legal fees, you might walk away with $25,000 in your pocket. It's a little tough to build a secondary suite on $25,000. Whereas if we can borrow up to 90% of a home value, and let's just take the home's value, never mind post renovation, let's just use that same 600,000 to compare apples to apples, you can now borrow up to 540,000 using the same math. So $450,000 mortgage, some penalty and legal fees, you could walk away with roughly 85,000 in your pocket instead of 25,000. So that's a huge difference and could be the difference between developing a secondary suite or even 2 or 3 additional suites, because again, we can go up to 4 units. So this program I anticipate will be quite a game changer for a lot of people who already own properties and want to legalize their basement suites. I was actually chatting with a client the other day who was thinking maybe in 4, 5, 6 years, but this might actually come in handy next year with this program. We never know how long these programs are going to last, if they're going to go away. So it's nice to take advantage of it while it's here. So if you do want information about any of these programs, feel free to reach out. Like I said, a lot of the information on the last 2 programs hasn't been released quite yet. Probably closer to the new year, if not in the new year, we'll have more information. But for anybody that owns a home and is thinking of legalizing it, or adding a secondary or third suite, for example, we can look at this come the new year as an option. So a lot of good programs that are coming out, being released by the government to help stimulate additional housing. So
Awesome.
Yeah.
Thanks, Danielle.
You're welcome.
The funny thing is, we actually did a property tour on our YouTube channel of an Airbnb in Inglewood. That was a suite property, and it was generating $50,000 a year.
Yeah.
We couldn't even believe it, and we were like, who stayed here? And the owner was telling us that kids love, like young people love it because they can hop on the e-bikes, they can get downtown, they can go to the pub. Inglewood's really trendy apparently these days. So we know suite properties can definitely work for Airbnb also.
Yeah. So thanks a lot, Danielle. Valuable insights as always. Her contact info is right there on the screen. So if you need to get a second opinion on a mortgage you got, or you're looking to refinance or buy something new, give her a shout.